so lonely, broken angel. I'm so lonely.
Minister Jorge Faurie, welcome to Hardtalk.
Thank you very much for inviting and having me here today, Zainab.
Our pleasure. So 2 years ago, when President Macri took office, he said he wanted to improve relations with the world and Argentina's neighbours. Just encapsulate for us, what does that mean?
Well, we are trying to reopen Argentina to the world. We describe this as an intelligent insertion. We are trying to have good relations with everybody, particularly with our neighbors, trying to see what can we do with each one, independent of the ideological position they have.
All right. The big one, of course, is the United States. And President Macri said he wanted to chart a new course with Washington because after 14 years, first with President Nestor Kirchner and then succeeded by his wife, Cristina Fernandez Kirchner, relations between Argentina and the United States were extremely poor. Are they good now?
Well, we have done a lot of work together, both countries, and we have improved a lot in our political dialogue. We are in a permanent dialogue with the United States in different issues. We are having good economical relations. In a few days, I will be receiving in Argentina the Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson. We had the visit of the Vice President of the United States. We are having a dialogue which is a constructive one, recognizing the different things we have.
A constructive dialogue with the United States at a time when you have Donald Trump in the White House saying he wants to build a wall to keep the Mexicans out. I tell you what, Ernesto Samper, a former centrist Colombian president, said, this is a wall that will separate us Latin Americans from the United States because if you affect Mexico, you affect Latin America. So you, Argentina, want to hug him and he wants to keep the region at arm's length.
We want to have very good relations with all the countries. The wall is not in place. So we are discussing the bilateral relations of Argentina, which are in terms of dialogue in politics, but also very important for us, the dialogue or what we do in terms of business, what we can sell in the United States, what the United States want to sell to us. This is an important market.
I'll come to economics in a moment, but I mean, you know, I'm just saying to you that here you are saying we want to have warm ties with the United States, and he's saying,
I didn't say warm ties. I say that they have.
You don't want to have warm ties with the United States.
I have.
You want to have cold relationship with them.
We do have constructive relations with all the countries, and we learn from each one what can we do. And I think that we have established, President Macri has established a dialogue with President Trump, which is good, and that enables us to call whenever we need to say there is a problem here, we have to solve it.
All right, but then let me just give you one problematic thing between Latin America, South America, Central America, and Washington. You know, sometimes it's the use of President Trump's colourful language. For example, he didn't want migrants from countries like El Salvador and Haiti, saying that these are S-hole countries. And this is what Salvador Sanchez Cheren, president of El Salvador, said. He said, I demand respect for the dignity of El Salvador's noble and courageous people. That was offensive language, wasn't it, about a country in your region?
I mean, we share with all the Latin American countries excellent and historical relations. We are a country, we are open to migrants, and we respect the entity of each of the countries, the characteristic of each one of them. So for us...
But it was offensive language, wasn't it?
It's a language which is not good for a dialogue.
No. You just said something which is interesting, because you said we are open to immigration from countries in Latin America. But, you know, that's not quite the case, because in 2017, President Macri government, your government, curbed immigration to Argentina from poorer countries in Latin America. And he said, my first concern is caring for Argentines, caring for ourselves. Where's your Latin American solidarity?
We have our country with immigration from Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia, Peru, from Chile. Now we have plenty of people coming after the situation in Venezuela. We are a country that after 1942, it has open frontiers. So what did he mean then? No, the president was referring that we were not doing any kind of migratory control because we have open and we do not restrict the entrance of anyone coming from those countries. We just wanted to have register of who is coming and who is going.
But it meant that newcomers from poorer countries in Latin America were not so welcome.
Because in Latin America you have poor people in all of our countries, including Argentina. So it is not against poor people. We just wanted to know who is coming and who is going out from the neighboring and other countries.
But it provoked quite a reaction in the region. President Evo Morales of Bolivia in February last year said, brothers, Latin American presidents, we cannot follow the immigration policies of the North. I mean, it sounds like...
I don't know if he was addressing it to somewhere else.
No, I want to say...
in Argentina...
But there's concern, though, that you may try to follow Trump's America First policy.
3,100 Bolivians living in Argentina, working with us, and they are a very constructive part of our society. And the same is for the Peruvians, the same is for the Paraguayans. There are complete neighborhoods in different areas or big cities of Argentina, which are Bolivian and Paraguay. So we do not have any, because we are all descendants from immigrants.
But that's the point I was going to make to you, because this triggered a debate in the country. A radio show host...
Some people wanted to make an issue of something which is not. I know which radio you are referring to.
The radio show host, Raul Coleman, he said, the government wants to dilute the fact that a large share of us are children or grandchildren of immigrants, including President Mauricio Macri himself, the son of an immigrant.
You know what they define the Argentinians? The sons of the boats. Because we all descended from a boat. So we have no particular issues of race, religion, or whatever in Argentina to make difference. And migrants have been all the time in Argentina because we are ourselves migrants.
But you accept then that when President Macri said this, that it triggered a kind of debate that created concern that you might be following Donald Trump's kind of rhetoric.
Some titles of the press, some comments on the radio for political reasons, but that was not an issue in the society.
So you said you want a constructive dialogue with the United States. But I'll tell you what Andres Oppenheimer, who's the Latin American editor of the Miami... Yeah, the Latin American editor of the Miami Herald, for those who don't know who he is.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry.
Fair enough. Wrote in December, so far the Trump administration has only pursued a negative agenda towards the region, opposing trade, immigration and environmental agreements and cutting foreign aid without offering any constructive plans to improve hemispheric ties. It sounds like you're extending the hand, but it's not being reciprocated.
I can't speak about myself for my own situation in the fair, as they say, translating from Spanish. We have a constructive dialogue in terms of trade. We have investment from the American companies. We have been reinstated in the generalized system of preference, which announced certain commercial barriers. So our dialogue with the United States is a reasonable one.
Really?
I'm so lonely, broken.